Welcome back, dear students. Under algebra number theory, we are in unit number 5, classical theorems and multiplicative functions. In that, we are now in lecture number 6, Fermat's theorem problems. So previously we had seen 5 lectures. The first 3 were about Wilson's theorem, statement and proof and problems. And lecture number 4 was about the statement and proof of Fermat's theorem. And lecture number 5 we had discussed Fermat's theorem problems. And now we are still continuing few problems to be discussed under Fermat's theorem. And a small intro about the lecture number 7. So lecture number 7 will be dealing with Euler's theorem. So let's get on to the presentation. Let's have the first problem. Find the remainder when 13 raised to the power of 16 plus 17 raised to the power of 12 is divided by 221. Now, we have a theorem. The theorem says that when P and Q are distinct primes. So, what do you mean by distinct primes? They are totally different numbers. Both are not equal. So, distinct prime numbers. You know what is a prime number? Prime number is a number which has only its own factor and 1. None other number divides the prime number. So, the theorem says that P raised to the power of Q minus 1 plus Q raised to the power of P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod PQ. This is what the theorem is. The only condition is P and Q should be distinct primes. Now, let's compare this theorem with the given problem. Now, here if I am going to compare, I could see the first number 13. I can take it as P. And the second number 17 can be taken as Q. If that is going to be the category, P in place of P, I will replace 13. So, 13 raised to the power of Q minus 1. So, what is Q? Q is 17. So, 17 minus 1 plus, what is the value of Q? Q value is 17. So, 17 I am substituting. And in place of P minus 1, I will write it as 13 minus 1. Which is congruent to 1 mod 13 multiplied by 17 because P value is 13 and Q value is 17. So what will I get if I multiply 13 and 17? 13 and 17 if I multiply, it is going to be 221. See the actual modulo number we have arrived at. Now what has happened in the left? So 13 raised to the power of 17 minus 1 will give you 16. And 13 raised to the power of 13 minus 1 will give you 12. So finally, we have achieved what we are supposed to do. So 13 raised to the power of 16 plus 17 raised to the power of 12 is congruent to 1 mod 221. So what is the remainder? The remainder is 1. So it's a very simple problem. So the problem was simple because we applied a theorem here. Okay. So let's get on to the next problem. Okay, here we are into the second problem. They're asking you to prove something. Prove that 16 plus 21 raised to the power of 23 is equivalent to 16 raised to the power of 23 plus 21 raised to the power of 23. Mod 23. So how to start with the solution? Given that. So what is given? You just write it down. 16 plus 21 raised to the power of 23, etc. By Fermat's little theorem, we know the statement of Fermat's little theorem. A raised to the power of P minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod P. That can also be written. Hope you remember I had specified this result in my 4th lecture where after the completion of the statement and proof of Fermat's theorem, I had told you the Fermat's theorem is having another alternate way that I can write it as A raised to the power of P is congruent to A of mod P. Now I just got to compare this. So what is the value of P? P is 23. And what are the values of A? A is 16, 21 and 37. Now what do I do here? Now I erase the 16 to the power of 23, which is congruent to 16 mod 23. And again 21. 21 raised to the power of 23 is congruent to 21 mod 23. Now 37 power 23 is congruent to 37 mod 23. From where did I get this 37? 37 is just the sum of 16 plus 21. Okay, because you could see that if I'm going to add 16 plus 21 on my left, it's going to be 37 to the power of 23. And separately I'm going to have the powers of that. That's why I'm having three categories here. Okay, so I've applied a to the power of p is congruent to a mod p. So if a is here, the same value of a will also be here except the power. That is how 16 to the power of 23 is congruent to 16. So each and every value is congruent to its particular value using the Fermat's little theorem. So let's continue. Now what do? I got to go for my left hand side. 16, I am proving 16 plus 21 raised to the power of 23 is congruent to, what is the sum of this? It's 37, you told me. 37 raised to the power of 23 mod 23. So what is that 37 raised to the power of 23? It's 37. You know this is by Fermat's little theorem. A to the power of p mod p is congruent to a mod p. Clear? So this 37 can be again split as 16 plus 21 mod 23. Now this mod can be taken individually to these two numbers, 16 mod 23 plus 21 mod 23. Now what is this reverse process? So this 16 can be written as 16 to the power of 23 and 21 mod 23 can be written as 21 mod 23, 21 to the power of 23 mod 23. Hence proved. Hope you understood this problem. It's a very simple problem. Now we are in the third problem now. Find all the integers of x such that x raised to the power of 31 is congruent to 3 mod 7. Now solution. The given congruence is x raised to the power of 31 is congruent to 3 mod 7. Let's name it as the equation number 1. Now by Fermat's little theorem, a raised to the power of p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. Now in place of p, I'm having 7. In place of a, I don't know, it's x. So only thing I am available, the detail available is only with p. So now x raised to the power of 7 minus 1 is congruent to 1 of mod 7. Now what is 7 minus 1? 7 minus 1 is 6. So x raised to the power of 6 is congruent to 1 mod 7. Now what do I do here? I have to find the value of x raised to the power of 31. So how can I write x raised to the power of 31? Only thing I can write it is x raised to the power of 30 into x raised to the power of 1. Okay. So now how can I write x to the power of 30? I can make use of this x to the power of 6 I can make use of. Say 6x raised to the power of 6 raised to the whole power of 5. So that will give you 30 and 1 extra x is needed. So this is 30 plus x now. So it's going to be raised to the power of 1, right? So x to the power of 6 is congruent to 1. So in place of x raised to the power of 6, if I substitute 1, 1 raised to the power of 5 is again 1. So I land up only with x. So x power 31 is congruent to x of mod 7. This is the second equation. So from the first equation and the second equation, we have x is congruent to 3 mod 7. So this is x is congruent to 3 mod 7 and this is nothing but both sides we have the same value, x raised to the power of 31. So from the first and second equation I can write it as x of mod 7 is congruent to 3 mod 7. This is the end of the problem and thank you so much for watching. Let's continue in the next lecture.